I don't know if you can see this, but it's extremely smoky. See the difference here. And it's all coming from over here, which on camera you can't really tell, but it's really, really, really dark. Greetings and welcome back to Pink Oddbird. Today I'm here with another installment of the Happy Place journals that I've been making. I made 2 of these a little while back. You can catch those here on my channel. I'll link them below if you want to go ahead and take a look at those. But these are like my positive-ish journals, and I wanted to go ahead and do a couple more of these, and I might do a few more and then make it kind of like an ongoing thing here and there. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this one first. This one I am calling Life. Again, they're all meant to be like places for you to fill up with your own items, your own thoughts and writings. I made this one out of a old from 1977 book cover, and the book was called How to Save Your Own Life, but I gessoed over the cover and I just gessoed over all of it to just say own life, because I feel like that's something that we need to all do, is own your life, you know, live it and make it your best life. I have some twine that I've sewn into the spine as well, and as you can see, there's just random gesso. This is what the cover looks like. It says, "This is the good life." And I've got some flowers, some fabric here from Kim. And then this here is a vintage napkin that I got, so you can see that. These flowers I purchased, they are handmade flowers. And then I have a little crochet flower here, and then the other flowers and the green flowers underneath, the hand flowers, are Prima flowers. Little safety pin here, and then I've got a little bit of micro beading that I did here at the bottom. The closure is Sari Silk that I got from Nicola. Thank you very much, Miss Nicola. And let's go ahead and take a look. There's 3 signatures in this one, and so there's about 100 pages front and back, roughly. All right, so we've got some trim, washi. Again, the objective of these books is for me to leave them mostly plain so that you can you know, use them and fill them up yourself. So there isn't a whole lot of space being used in these books. They're really usable for writing. They go flat. There are some tabs at the top, as you saw probably. Lots of these are vintage napkin or vintage linen, some trims, some of that like the hand-dyed muslin that I got from Adeline Country Cottage. I did do a little bit of stamping in the book. Very little ephemera. Some poems. I did do some sewing in this book. These are pockets. Coffee stain paper. Some of it is by me. Some of it is by my buddy Reem, Paper Pixie. I did do some tags, and I was planning to sew around some of these tags, or all of these tags, but my machine died, so that's kind of sad. It's actually really quite sad, isn't it? So Doilies from Junk That Treasures, that's Sarah's shop. You can find her on Etsy. I will link to her below. I did do some washi here and there in the book. This is vintage, so I left it because it's kind of naturally aged on its own. And that's the end of the first signature. So here's some more of that vintage linen here. And then this is a curtain that I ruffled up. Did a little bit of punching there. Another tag. These are vintage sunset gardening pages, and I put those in here because To me, gardening, kind of a symbolism, another junk that treasures of life. So I put a few of those in here as well. Center of the signature. This is another piece of that napkin turned into pockets. Vintage graph paper. It's already naturally aged also, so does its own thing. Some sewing paper here. So as you can see, tons of writing space. A bag from Junk That Treasures, I just stamped on it. Some vintage music paper. Tiny doily from Sarah. So flips out. So another piece of, I got this from Kim. Little punching here. I don't know if you can see it, but I love that little tiny punch. There's a pocket here. I did this stamp. This is like, I did a good stamp, you guys. I did a good freaking stamp. Piece of the bag. Some more tags. And there's my stamp. So that's life. That is life. And the buttons are vintage buttons. There's some wooden ones, just different kinds that I used. I love it. I was struggling with this, so I'd like to thank my friends for listening to me and helping me with that. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. All right, guys, so what we have here is, this one is a lot bigger than the other. This other one is 9 by 6, and the spine is about 1.25 inches. Okay, you can see this one is a lot bigger. The spine is 3 inches on it, and it's also 9 by 6. So speaking of the spine, let's just go ahead and start there. I have some rosette trim, and then I put some vintage like white and clear buttons in here. So I don't know if you can see that. Give it a nice little fluffy snuffleupagus. This is some more of that dress, and this time I didn't back it with a linen. So it's craft paper underneath. You can kind of see that through. I have some silver trim here that I did, and then a Tim Holtz book plate on the cover. And I don't know if you can see this, but I did do some micro beading on the cover. So I just did it in like little random places just to give it a really nice look. And I got that idea from Shayna. It was her suggestion to maybe go ahead and do that. So I did. So I mixed some white seed beads and clear glass, silver glass beads to make this look. So the closure is white seam binding, and it's also combined with some like cream ribbon. So let's go ahead and take a look. This one has 5 signatures. So there's more like 160 pages in this book. Again, with the quotes that I've handwritten in, pencil, bag from Junk That Treasures, a little tip in there. And a lot of my friends, a lot of you guys said the last 2 that I made kind of looked like wedding guest books, and they do, and they actually totally can be used as a wedding guest book. You can have this, like, put some pictures on the heavier cardstock pages, or, you know, there's a vintage piece of a I think it was a doily quilt or something I got from Rita. Thank you, Rita. G. Marie's Scrap Shack. Another piece of fabric from Kim. Some stamps. Another tag. I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do about my sewing machine, because I know, like in the beginning, I didn't even have a sewing machine, and it's really thanks to Dolly that I did get one. Because she gave me hers that she wasn't using. And I was making journals just fine without the sewing machine. But it's like once you have it, then, you know, you need it. Some vintage trim here. There's there's 5 quotes in the book that I hand wrote in, and they all are relating to Bliss, because that is the name of this book, Bliss. I can't remember if I said that already. Kind of made a mistake on that one, but it's okay. I covered it with washi, and it's not meant to be perfect. It is not. I love this butterfly stamp too. So as you can see, tons and tons of space in this book. This is another piece of that vintage napkin, and I just used a garment pin to put some trim on there, and I got the garment pin from Sarah's shop. Junk That Treasures. The laces I got there, I believe most of the laces in this book are vintage laces, other than like the cover, that's not vintage. Another tip in here. It's a pocket, 2 pockets. And I did the quote here on this one because just because it's a pocket page doesn't mean you can't utilize that space to also write. It's totally writable. And then I just made a ruffle on the other side of this napkin with more of the same napkin fabric. All right, last signature. Another tip in. I like doing these little see-through ones because it's like, I think it'll give it a nice effect once you actually like write or add a photo there. Pocket. Vintage music paper. Another tag, another quote. Flip out. Some Reese paper. Another stamp. And there's my stamp. And that is going to do it for Life and Bliss. So both of these are going to be up in my Etsy shop. Actually, they're probably there already, so they're linked down below. So, yeah. And just to show you really quickly, I do also have some charms here that will be up in the shop as well. So, let me show you. So this one is like browns, creams. There's a cross charm on this one. So that's what that one looks like. And then I have this one, sort of same colors. This one has a flower at the bottom. These are actually pretty fun to make. And then this one, perfect for like Gothic, or maybe if you want to do a dark romance, Valentine's Day, something like that. Very pretty. Those are my charms. I'm gonna go ahead and get going. I just wanted to come and show these to you. I will have a couple more things to show you coming up soon, hopefully, and I appreciate you guys all for watching. Remember, stay positive, especially with everything that's going on, with all the fires being so close to me and all the people who have lost things and the devastation of that. Our heart's going out to you. So yeah, everybody stay up, stay positive, and until next time, toodaloo.